Hello, we're here to talk today about how to write a resume that is a military to civilian transfer. Now, I know you certainly probably have experienced transfers in the military, but when you're changing careers, say you've come to your retirement time and you want to continue working in the civilian world, there's some certain guidelines and rules of the road on how to write an effective resume. Let's start with the very basic purpose of a resume, and that is, frankly, to get the interview. It's not to tell somebody everything about yourself, but it's to tell them enough about yourself so that they will be enticed to call you in for an interview. What we really need to do in a military resume is to translate your military experience into terms that civilians can understand. First rule, by the way, of that is don't include combat. If you have had the experience of having been in combat, don't put that in. But there are several things that you've learned how to do and skills that you've acquired in the military that translate very effectively into the civilian world. And I have a sample up on the screen here that I'd like to show you. Again, it's not completely filled out, but it will show you as an outline what we're really looking to do. At the top, you would have a name, of course, your name, address, phone, and email. By the way, for phone, include both your home phone and your cell phone and identify each as such, because potential employers are more likely to call a cell phone because they think they're more likely to get in touch with you, which is true. Most of us have our cell phones with us most of the time. The very first paragraph we would like to see is called a summary of qualifications. And in this case, this person was probably an officer in the military, a highly organized, take-charge professional with more than 20 years of supervisory experience, pretty clearly an officer, with strong problem-solving and decision-making skills, with the ability to develop and implement effective action plans. So I'm sure you can see how these are translations of what you were charged with doing in the military and how these actions and functions can be effectively transferred into the civilian arena. A team leader providing motivation and training by example, and computer literate. Obviously, the computer world is not limited to just the corporate world, but it certainly exists in the military as well. And then I would suggest something like areas of strength with some bullet points that talk about project management, say, if you were a civil engineer within the Army Corps of Engineers, for example, you certainly have done a lot of work in those areas. Obviously, this would need to be tailored to your specific experience. Excellent skills at compliance with protocols, instruction and training skills, and then specialized training includes, and then you would have some sub-bullets there. And then once you had gone through those areas, you would put your specific military experience and the last rank that you held. In this case, we have a person who was in the United States Navy with an honorable discharge as a lieutenant commander, and describe the duties within that position. Similarly, at the very bottom, you would put whatever education you had had, either inside or outside of the military. And we don't put references available upon request in this kind of a resume. Everybody assumes that you will have some references. So when you do get to an interview, bring a sheet of at least 3 references or 6 references, but bring that to the interview with you. Thanks very much. I appreciate your attention.